enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts and Deli. Call 763-1627.
Powered by Panama City Toyota. Your home for Auburn Tiger basketball. WGSX Lynn Haven. WVLQ Port St. Joe. ESPN Northwest Florida. Rise and shine, campers. It's a brand new day.
What a lovely morning.
Good morning, starshine.
You seem happy this morning.
Morning, everybody. Thanks for coming in early.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local. Live from the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hot tub. I'm full of water. I stay hot tub. Stay there, hot. Stay hot there, hot tub. Gonna get you hot. I'm gonna make it wet. Stay hot tub.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You're going to be getting in it Saturday night. I guarantee you, there'll be a hot tub around here somewhere. We got Josh. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
You think, oh man, this is your station. We are here for Bay District Schools. So many great people work down there. Really impressed with our new McQueen, our superintendent. Greg Bernicki was in here. What day did Greg come in and ruin the show? Him and Bill. Monday, our former legendary mayor. He talked just so highly, not on there, but off there. We were talking about McQueen, and you worked for him. You know what a great man he is. The military background, I think, is really special. That's just my opinion. Jerry Rester, Coach, Steve, all the school board members, really good people. Just got a first-class operation. Everything's headed in the right direction. Love that. And you got any breaking news? Anything you can tell us? Scoop? What's going on?
Not breaking news, but we did have a really, really special event yesterday. Arnold and Mosley played some beach volleyball down at Arnold. Mosley came out with the victory. Really good crowd, really good atmosphere, just like the Bay and Arnold won a couple weeks ago. So a lot of cool things happening in the spring. Obviously, your baseballs and softballs. Softball just got through with their big tournaments. Baseball's getting into their spring break tournaments. Heading into a full spring season. We have a track meet this afternoon at Tommy Oliver with all of our local high schools, and so everything is in the spring. All the spring sports are fastening up, and everything's moving full speed ahead.
Jeremy is on his way. He's near the Navy base. Can you keep an eye on him?
On Navy Boulevard?
Yeah, I guess there's, how traffic gets backed up there, so he's getting here. Jeremy's all, I love Jeremy. The beach volleyball, is that the first year we've ever had this?
First year we have it, and man, it's been a hit. And a lot of you have your indoor girls playing, but you also see a lot of athletes out there that did not play indoor volleyball. So you're having a little bit more of a pull. I'm not sure. I think it's just a new sport. It's a different sport. It's similar to indoor, but it's not necessarily the same sport.
When does it end? Do you know when the season started and when it ended?
Yeah, so it started about a month ago, and we have about a month and a half left.
Wow. And they're going to have actually a state championship and everything?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Are there many teams playing throughout the state? Do you know? Is this the first year?
First year Bay County's doing it. It's been a sport for about 5-6 years.
Has it really? I didn't know that.
Yep.
Wow.
So first year we've gotten teams together. Last year Gulf Breeze won a state championship their first year of program existence. So hopefully we can start that trend here in Bay County.
Now, do you have the same coaches that coach the indoor volleyball? Are they the same head coaches for the out?
Coach Sierra is the only one at Bay High School, but Mosley, Angie Ansley is coaching, and then Megan Markle is coaching for Arnold. So there's two of the three.
Different.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Of course, we know the legend at Mosley. She's incredible.
Coach Mash. She was out there yesterday supporting. So again, it's a big family. I mean, she's out there. Half of those players are her indoor players. So it's a cool little community for sure.
Roll Tide. Look at that outfit he's got on.
Got your retro
Jeremy,
Alabama.
what's going on down at your church, Big Daddy?
We're having a good time at First United Methodist Church, Panama City. We had a big group go over to Tallahassee.
We talked about that.
Yeah, they had a good crowd. Florida took care of business on that ball game. They really
That's
did.
kind of surprised me, to be honest with you. I thought maybe Tallahassee would win that home one.
You know, it's interesting. The midweek is so hard because they don't count in the standings. They're both going to be regional hosts. And I wish they would kind of go at each other, to see. But
I love that.
Yeah, it's good
Large,
stuff here.
Large.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was it baseball? What's that?
It's from the foundation.
No
Watch
wonder,
out,
okay. No
Jeremy.
wonder it's not.
He's got a birthday coming up, Jeremy.
Yeah, Sunday.
Hang on to that.
Yeah, we're having a big event at church after the service. he didn't know it yet.
Didn't know that yet.
Yeah, he didn't know it. All right, let's bring him on. We love the guy, Coach Bobby Hughes. Bobby, the first thing I want to ask you is your wife going to be coming down here this weekend, or she's staying in Montgomery?
Well, next week we're coming that way to play around Prattville, so she's going to hold out.
Well, you tell her to find her safe place and stay there, because it's good. Have you seen 4 out of 5?
Mm-hmm.
James Spann, to get on TV and say what he said yesterday, got my daughter scared. And I said, well, just come on home. So you got to take off and come home. She can't, because Alabama and Auburn both playing up in Nashville. She's got to work. And I'm like, hey, it ain't worth it to me. But
when we lived in that Montgomery market, though, we'd get these events like that. And, Bobby, you know this. It'd be like Montgomery, but then it'd be like Hope Hole, Pentlala. It was almost like it went around Montgomery.
Yeah. I remember I was on the phone with my mom and dad one time, and this was like, I was like, it might have been Lake Wales, and all of a sudden he goes, we got to get off the phone. We got a tornado warning. It did finally came through the city.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a big one or anything like that. But this weather event Saturday, you people going to have to pay attention. And even here, I think we're, what are we, 2 or 3?
Yeah, 2 there, I think. So.
Yeah, we might jump up to a 3. We'll know more this afternoon, but you look at all this stuff that's going on, it's kind of a scary event. We haven't seen something like this, and we'll talk more about this later, because we want to talk about baseball right now. Coach Hughes, tell us what's happened since the last time we've talked to you.
Well, we finally started hitting a little bit, but our pitching, it's up and down. It's, you start to do better in one area, and then the other area goes down. It's just, we ain't got it all together yet. We're starting to hit, but our pitching's not where it needs to be, and we're trying to figure that out. And it's just up and down. It's still got a little ways to go, and but we're starting to hit the ball, and that's a good thing. So we've got to pitch a little bit better.
Bobby, is that just giving free passes, or is that just leaving pitches up on 0-2 count? What you see there to sum all of it?
We're getting behind in the count a lot, and that puts us in a bad situation when you get behind in the count, and they're hitting the ball on us when we're doing that. So we've got to really be more aggressive early in the count, get ahead in the count, and quit trying to nitpick and just go right at them.
Right, yeah. Saw that you had the back end with Mariana there, and it looked like a really good ball game. I know you dropped it there in extras, but tell me about that one.
Yeah, it was back and forth. When you play them, it's always going to be a close game because we're very similar, and they got a hit, one more hit than we. I mean, we had 14 hits, but they just got some big hits, and we didn't in certain situations. And we got to pitch a little bit better when the game's tight. And I think if we do that, we'll win a lot of those one-run games.
Yeah, you look like y'all took out a little frustration on Crossroads.
Yeah, we hit the ball against them. They were young. They were a young team, probably just like we are. But our pitchers threw well, and we hit. Like I said, we started hitting the ball. So
I would say so. A 25 spot.
Yeah, we needed that. Like the other night, we scored 11 runs. So pitching's got to step it up a little bit.
Yeah, if you were told that you were going to get 11 runs, you'd feel pretty good about coming out with a W against Mariana. So, yeah, that's a tough one to eat there. It really is. So.
Yeah, it was. We played Liberty tonight at home.
What do you know about the Bulldogs?
We beat them 6-5 earlier in the year, and it'll be a close game. About every game we play, is going to be a close game. So.
Yeah. So tell me about your spring break trip you're taking. I know you do this with the guys, but who are you seeing, and kind of what's your itinerary?
We're gonna leave Monday. We're gonna go hit at Enterprise State. Bubba Frichter, he's gonna let us hit over there. I coached him when he was in high school at Catholic, and we're gonna play McKenzie that night on Monday, and then Tuesday we're gonna play Catholic there, and then Wednesday we'll play Hooper. And all two of those schools I coached at.
Yeah, I was going to say, kind of homecoming here. You're just getting the tour here. Go back to Catholic and go back to Hooper. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to stay in Prattville, and it'll be a good trip for them.
Good, very good. Do you know anything about those guys you're playing? Are they pretty good? I know Catholic.
Yeah, all of them are pretty. I mean, most of the schedule I tried to get where all the schools were similar to us, where we could compete, and so all three games they'll be really tight games. So we'll have a chance in all three games.
Yeah. You kind of one of the unusual ones. You get on spring break and you leave. Most of these teams are getting ready to host teams coming down for spring break, so a little different scheduling philosophy, because I know that plenty of out-of-state teams starting to arrive in the area.
Yeah, I like to get away, let the kids, do something new and not do the same old thing and be at the same area. Because, they're going to have to do that. If they make the playoffs and they got to travel and that sort of thing, they need to get used to being away from home, and sometimes you might have to spend the night. So it's kind of a situation where you're trying to get them ready for if you do make that, that trip, you're ready for it.
Well, if you play up in these parts, you're going to see Jacksonville or Pensacola if you go, far enough. I think the other part, maybe you have a little more control. I know when kids are out of their routine and out of school, and they're still trying to play these spring break games, kind of gets a little more challenging to kind of keep them in that routine of class and to the cages, to the bus, what have you. So it'd be fun. Look forward to hearing about what all happens up in Central Alabama as you make your rounds back through and see some different arms, coming at your kids there.
Yeah, and it's kind of like Nick Saban. I always felt like Alabama played better on the road when he coached there.
Mm-hmm.
And because he had more control of what's going on with the kids than they do when they play at home. And I always thought that. So, plus, I'm a big Alabama fan, too. So.
Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide. Hey, I can't believe this. I'm looking I never watch this on Facebook. And Wildcat, make sure you keep the picture on these two, because I didn't realize how much better looking they are than I am. And in my mind, I think I'm still young. And I see this old gray-headed guy.
Yeah.
Jeremy, you're a very handsome guy. Yeah, look good. Josh, you were like a movie star. So.
Yeah. This is a feature, Josh.
No, you both can get on there. Hey, real quick, I know you love him too. We absolutely love this man. The legendary Tommy Santamont's birthday is today, so happy birthday to Tommy.
Happy birthday, Tommy.
Louise has a picture of him and Tommy, of Tommy in 2021 and the picture now, and he still looks absolutely stunning. He is a superstar. The legendary Tommy Santamont, State Hall of Famer Tommy Santamont. I think he's 79 or 80. I
can't. I'll have to check and see. I can figure that out. But they went to the ball game with us the other night. Sure did. So had a good trip. So.
All right, Coach. Good luck to you, buddy. We will talk to you soon, and keep an eye on your wife. Make sure she's safe up there.
I will. Thank y'all.
All right. Good luck tonight. Get some Bulldogs.
I want to ask Josh, because Josh, you went through that unbelievable situation, and they say the weather is set up kind of like that. All the ingredients are not exactly like that. It was like maybe a once-in-a-lifetime deal that happened in 2012. But you went through that hurricane.
Oh, yeah.
Tommy's 80 years old. Unbelievable. You went through that.
Came through Tuscaloosa, came through Birmingham, Pleasant Grove area.
And you heard it.
Yep, Mountain Brook area. We lived about 2 miles south of where it came through, and had friends, high school friends whose houses were just gone.
Did they have sirens there that let you know?
They did, but James Spann is better than anything. That guy's phenomenal in terms of just being.
You remember in Montgomery, those sirens would go off, and they scare you.
Mm-hmm.
That thing would go off. We all need to run to get in the house.
Yeah. I don't need sirens. If I see Jim Cantore on the TV,
I'm going to tell you somebody better than him.
I'm going.
James Spann is the. If you know who he is,
oh yeah,
James Spann's the best.
Who's he work for?
He works up at the Jamie station, up in the biggest one in Alabama.
Oh yeah, well, they'll know about it before we do too.
Oh, he already's talking about stuff here, Mobile. I just told him he needs to talk to his parents. I'm sure they know about it. It's going to be really bad there. 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5, you're going to get something.
Yep.
and it's going to be long track, the big ones, not a F2. We had a level 1 in Central Florida at Twerpa Station down in Orlando. I mean, they had some bad stuff down there. We're at least, what are we? We're 2, 3? What are we?
It's a 2, kind of 2 out of 5 sort of.
Yeah,
for
so
our area.
hopefully we don't get any higher than that. But Saturday night, pay attention what's going on. We're not talking about these little bitties. This is going to be something bad, especially in the state of Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee. But really, looking at it right now, it looks like Mobile, Montgomery, Birmingham, really bad stuff. Pensacola is in it. So pay attention to the weather. Josh, how loud did it get? I mean, it was like, what, a couple blocks from where it hit your house? Or hit your friend's house?
Yeah, I mean, it was loud. You could hear it a couple miles down south, and we had some damage in our neighborhood. But the path.
Did it sound like a train?
Yeah, just like a train. I've heard some here. We had one on Thomas Drive about a year or so ago that went right by our house here on Thomas Drive.
You hear it there too?
Oh yeah, it's pretty frightening.
Jared's house got hit. My son's house got hit with that tornado. The very top of it hit, and he had some damage. But the house behind them, behind him is a golf course, and then there's another house. And that house, Doug is an insurance guy. I love Doug and his wife, beautiful people. They're big Bama fans, too. Their son's name's Saban, by the way. Yeah. But anyway, their house got really damaged, big time. So pay attention.
It reminded me when I was a kid, we were in the Georgia Dome for the SC basketball tournament.
You were there for that one, too.
Oh, wow. I remember that.
Just started coming down. And
where did they tell you all to go?
We just evacuated. I mean, we hunkered down, and then eventually they moved it to Georgia Tech. You know, it was.
It's fascinating. I was there the day before it hit. And, you hear all this, and the unlikely event of weather, and you're just like, the next night,
So you left before it hit?
Yeah, I just went to the opening games.
Yeah. But if you're in a big arena like that, they just tell you to get out of the arena and get
to the concourse. We went down to the concourse, and then we exited.
Could you feel it? Could you tell?
We saw. We're just sitting there. I'm a kid, but I'm just saying, man, what? There's metal falling from the sky. That's probably not good.
Dad, what is that?
Right,
unbelievable.
Bolts coming down. It was nuts.
I don't want to. I don't want to do that.
We got to call.
All right, let's do it.
Lead.
Oh, that's right. I got to call the legend. All right, let's talk about some of our great people. We had a great time yesterday at J. Michael's restaurant. Let me tell you what happened. Little story. I don't care if we run over. Glenn Manley. What did he say? He said, "I'm buying your lunch." He told us, "I'm buying your lunch."
He said.
Brian, he knew Brian wasn't coming, so that's one less bill. We get there. Guess who shows up? LSU Jeff was there.
Yeah.
Donna was there.
Oh, yeah.
So we're sitting there eating. Everything's going great. Get up. They gave him my bill, his bill, and maybe Donna's. I think Jeff paid it for his own. Glenn goes, "Hey, I left my billfold in the car. I'll be right back." And I said, I thought I would say, "No, don't worry about it. I'll get it." And he would say, "No, I'm going to go get." I said I was going to do it. I'll go get my billfold. And I was going to shut up then. I said the first time, he goes, "Okay." So I said, "Dang." In my head, I go, "Oh, man." So I paid for it. He goes, "I'll get you later." I said, "Don't worry about it." But I was mad the whole time. I didn't let him know it, but I was really mad at him.
So that's how you do it.
Yeah, he got me. Unbelievable. But we had a great time. Actually, we went back there last night. The grandkids wanted J. Michael's, the world-famous spaghetti. We went and got that to go. But they had the best seafood, the coldest beer, the legendary J. Michael's. Now, if you get damage on your roof this weekend, I'll tell you who you better call. You call Kyle Vandergriff. The guy is incredible. We all know about the local 115 in downtown historical Panama City. The new restaurant down there is incredible. Go check it out. But if you got any kind of damage from a roof, you need a roof, you need something built, TK Vandy Roofing and General Contracting. They design, they build, commercial, residential. But if you want a roof, that's the only guy you want to go to is Kyle Vandergriff. The guy is everything he touches turned to gold. They do incredible work. TK Vandy Roofing and General Contracting. Love them. They are number one. Just like J. Michael's Restaurant. I already talked about them. I will shut up. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The ESPN Northwest Florida Big Bracket Challenge.
March Madness is incoming, and for the most bracket-busting fun, we've got you covered. This Sunday, find out who is going to the big dance. Selection Sunday coverage starts at 5. Then, fill out your bracket by going to ESPNPC.com and clicking Big Bracket Challenge. Free to play, and you can win cash and prizes from your home for March Madness.
It's ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, a mixture of light sprinkles and some clouds and a high of 70 with wind 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the south. Slight fog and some clouds tonight and quite warm near 65. Slightly foggy in the morning followed by some clouds and 72 tomorrow. 74 and a variety of some clouds and sprinkles Saturday. This is your Thursday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Bendian's Best Moves is a local moving company in Panama City, providing reliable services to the families and businesses in our community. Coveted for the long list of services they provide, experts at what they do, and they do it all from start to finish. The pros at Bendian's Best Moves have moved doctors, attorneys, pastors, schools, small businesses, the federal government, and they can move you too. For the best moving experience, it's Bendian's Best Moves. Call now, 850-583-0814.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? If competitive pricing and a quick turnaround are what matter to your business, come see us at Reliable Hydraulic Solutions. Or you can give us a call at 850-326-3000. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport. The best place in town to take a leak.
Hi, this is Ryan Mulvey. Join me weekdays starting at 11 for the Inside Drive. The latest sports stories, the biggest reactions, and even sports betting right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It is Mosley. This is traditionally a Mosley Day. It is traditionally a Doug Lee Day. Let's bring him on, the one and only head baseball coach, Doug Lee. Good morning, Doug.
Hey, Coach, how you doing this morning?
Man, I got two legends in here, two wonderful people. Couldn't be better. Well, three. Wildcat. He's pretty good at the jug. He ain't got into the jug yet, so we're doing pretty good with him right now. So we can keep that up. Everything's great.
This chaos keeps up, I will be.
Yeah. All right, Doug. Talk to us. What's happened since the last time we've talked to you?
Well, we went on the road last Friday after Conti on Thursday. Went to play Lincoln, who is the number 2 team in the state of Florida, and of course highly regarded. Got the 2027 number 1 ranked player in the 2027 class, Chase Ford, but. Got over there and really had a rough first inning. We didn't really play that bad. We only had 1 error that night, but they strung together quite a few hits in the first inning, and we got down early 6-0. Ended up losing 10-0 to a very good team. And then Tuesday night went back over to Niceville to play the number 1 ranked team in 5A, and lost a heartbreaker. We were, we got up 2-0, then they hit a grand slam to go up 4-2, and it was a kind of back and forth game. And then in the 7th inning, Peyton Williams came up with a big 3-run home run with 2 outs in the 7th to tie it. So we go to the bottom of the 7th and just end up giving up a run, unfortunately, and end up losing 8-7 in the bottom 7th to a very good Niceville team. So we're kind of on a skid right now, but I tell you, I'm really proud of our kids' effort. Nobody's pouting, nobody's hanging their head, nobody's giving in. So I think, our kids realize the schedule we've been placed in. And really, in the first ranking that came out Tuesday, our schedule is the 9th rated toughest schedule in the state of Florida in all classifications. And again, that kind of says a little bit about what we're doing, and hopefully that's going to pay off down the road. But again, not to make excuses, you want to get wins. And so I really believe that our best baseball is still ahead of us.
Hey, Coach Jeremy, good morning. You were talking to Coach Hughes. He's getting ready to take a trip up, play spring break games against some different competition. Y'all getting ready to do the same in a different way. Talk about the little skid you're on here. You get to get some looks at some people you don't normally see, kind of get out of the normal routine. So tell us a little bit about what is ahead of you for your ball club with the spring break games.
So today we head back over to Niceville to play. We're playing in the South Walton tournament that they have put on. It's really a great event. And today we play at Niceville against Riverdale, Tennessee. Again, highly regarded, highly ranked team out of Tennessee. Tomorrow we we're hosting Houston, Tennessee here at our school. And so two highly regarded Tennessee programs, looking forward to playing somebody new, different faces, kind of out of the norm. And then next week we have a 4-game slate here. All of them, we'll play on Tuesday here at school, and then play the other 3 out of the Panama City Beach complex, and one of those being Farragut, Tennessee, who's highly regarded, won the state championship last year. So, again, looking forward to playing some different people from different places of the country, and looking forward to a great couple of weeks of baseball.
I'm curious, do you get kind of calls from these folks saying, hey, we're coming to the area, or do you know these coaches, or kind of how do these games sort of take shape, when you get these spring break ones?
We have a few of them that were set up where they call me, but these, like South Walton's putting on this tournament, so we just got in it, and these 2 teams are coming to that. And then next week, Prospect U is a LLC company here that's putting this event on at the beach, and so we've been allowed to play in that. And again, those teams are, they want to come to the beach for spring break, so it gives us an opportunity to play baseball right here in our backyard this year in spring break, and get some teams coming down.
Good.
Good morning, Coach. It's Josh Latch.
Hey, Josh, how you doing?
Good. Long time no talk, man. Hey, we're talking off air a little bit about just, some of the youth you have on your team, and just some of the personalities and players that you have in your clubhouse. So just, I would love to hear about some of your players, maybe some of the younger ones that are having to step up and contribute at the varsity level, and the development process of some of them, and just, if you would, just highlight some of your players.
Well, on most nights we're starting 5 sophomores. So, I think, again, at times our youth has been on display. But I tell you, we've only allowed, Tuesday night we started 1 senior. Our senior was Jack Massey at second base. But, I take that back. Chase Wood, he started that night. So sometimes when Chase is up for his rotation, starting the rotation, he was pitching against Niceville. But other than that, we pretty much starting all underclassmen. It just kind of works out that way. And, between Xavier Demrow and Ryan Harless and Fletcher Taylor, who, Fletcher's gotten a lot of attention in football, and Brady Lee and C.J. Harris, those are 5 sophomores, and that we really have had a lot of playing time and got a lot of been thrown into the fire, needless to say. But, Peyton Williams, a 3-year starter, he's a junior, and again, like I mentioned, had a big hit the other night. And, there's, Jacob Oakes is a sophomore who's kind of winging the wings. Mason Daniels, again, these are all underclassmen. Reed Kyle's been a junior who's given us some quality at bats. Hunter Bowles is a junior who's been out of the bullpen, had 1 start on the mound, has given us some quality innings. And I'm sure I'm missing a few others. Derek Ortiz, he's a 9th grader. I mean, really high on him for the future. And there's several of those guys. Connor Clark's a junior. Jack Allman, Braden White. I mean, we're just fully loaded with a lot of youth, and looking forward to what the future holds here in Mosley baseball.
Well, Doug, good luck to you this week. Be safe, and we will. How's Chris doing?
He's doing good. He's feeling good, man. He's got them JVs going good. I think they're 6-2 right now, so he's feeling really good.
Now, is he actually teaching at Mosley, or is he still?
He is. He's teaching here at Mosley, and he's the head JV coach.
I love it, man. I'm so glad he's back. Tell him I think the world of that boy. Your mom and dad doing well also?
Doing great.
All
yeah,
right,
they're
buddy.
doing this many games still.
Now I got to ask you. You're live radio. Thousands of people listening right now. Don't you regret that offer you got 25 years ago? Don't answer.
Yeah. I tell you, God's been good to me. I wouldn't trade anything in the direction of the path He's taken my life. I really feel blessed and wouldn't trade anything in the world. I've been fortunate and been given a lot of opportunities in my life, and I'm very grateful for them.
And you've done a great job with it, believe me. All right, buddy. We'll talk to you next Thursday. You take care of yourself.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. All right, let's talk about some of our great people. Somebody else I truly love, and I think the world of him. I give him a hard time, but I really look up to him, and he is the best at what he does. And people truly come around from all over just to have him to operate. You got a knee injury, hips, shoulders, anything. Chad Mitchell's the answer. A legendary doctor. This will be his 26 years on Bay County sidelines taking care of athletes here in Bay County. You just don't see that anymore. Anybody giving up their time, their weekends for this. He does it for free. We really appreciate him. Josh, Brent Smith, Rick Green, they recognized in his past year at Arnold High School. I thought that was outstanding. I know he really enjoyed it, too. Thank you guys for doing that. But, again, Chad Mitchell, listen to the legend right here every Monday. The entire show. He does a great job with FSU and Florida State updates. He does a great job everything he does. Great man. Can't say enough good things about Chad Mitchell. Also, I love John and Charlotte. Saw John yesterday playing racquetball. Still looks like he could play at Miami. The guy's unbelievable. Charlotte, we all know her. She loves giving back to the community. They help out so many different people. It's unbelievable. Let's make sure we support them. Spring break is in full blast. They're doing extremely well. Everybody knows about Newbies. Get down to Newbies 2, watch all the baseball games, the SEC basketball tournament, and then head over to the motherships. The best bands are being played every single night there. Great entertainment, great times at Miss Newbie, the legendary Newbies. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We got Jeremy, we got Josh, and we got Wildcat. Be right back.
The ESPN Northwest Florida Big Bracket Challenge.
Three-pointer, puts it in.
We're taking March Madness to the next level. Join our bracket challenge at ESPNPC.com to compete with the ESPN Northwest Florida listeners and staff. The top 3 brackets win cash and prizes. Join the madness at ESPNPC.com. The ESPN Northwest Florida Big Bracket Challenge is sponsored by PCB Hobby, Pepsi, and Panama City Toyota.
Ready for a great deal? It's ready, set, go time at Panama City Toyota, where you can get 3.99% APR on the perfect combination of sport and utility in the new RAV4, plus 90 days until you make your first payment. Get 1.99% on the ruggedly refined Tacoma, plus 90 days until you make your first payment. And get 1.99% on a new Tundra, named the best resale value in its class by Kelley Blue Book. Ready, set, go.
Offer ends March 31st. For details, visit PanamaCityToyota.com.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Whether you're an experienced investor or first-time buyer, Beach House will provide you with top-notch service to guide you through every step of the process. We make the real estate process fun and easy through effective marketing, strategic advertising, and always a client-focused experience. From single-family homes to full-scale developments, Beach House Sales Development has you covered. Check them out at beachhousesalesfl.com or give them a call at 850-919-3500.
It's the Coach James Hale Show.
He's the sexiest man on the planet.
Live and local from the J. Michael Studio, the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. Woo! FSU update. Brought to you, I just talked about them, brought to you by Newbies. Get out to one of the 4 Newbies, have a wonderful time. And if you happen to see John and Charlotte out anywhere, tell them thank you for all they do for Bay County and surrounding areas, Florida State. They're wonderful people. Love them to death. And they both look absolutely gorgeous, good-looking people, good hearts, always giving, John and Charlotte. All right, Jeremy. The week 1 of college football cannot wait. Every day we get a little bit closer. Both coaches have to get the win at Florida State. You're going to be there. Mm-hmm. Josh, you going to FSU Alabama game?
I will not be there.
Julie wants to go, but I'm not sure. Now, you were at the Florida State. What? We got a caller? Let's take this wonderful caller. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I've missed that beautiful voice. How are you doing?
I'm great. Let me get this quick segment in here before. I was going to do this and say, hey, can we get James Spann to call into the show one day a week? Now, I know Mondays and Fridays are out because we can't ever know when you're going to be there or not. Wednesday is Gator Day. Tuesday's Auburn Day. So maybe he'll call at 8 o'clock on Thursdays and talk to Jeremy. I think that would be a good thing. You got nothing going on today. You got nothing going on at 8 o'clock.
Whoa. Wait a minute. We have the legendary Jeremy's Alabama update. Saban used to call Spann all the time about weather.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Everybody knows who James Spann is.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
And then we can get the real report instead of you being scared to death by the Weather Channel that says they have changed their intro to the most trusted news network. Now, I don't turn the Weather Channel on to watch the news. I turn the Weather Channel on to get the news. And every time there's a storm coming or close by, you got highway through hell or underwater, zero underwater or something like that. But anyway, if we could get James Spann to come on one day, that would be.
Well, I will try to get him to come on one day. He's a good guy,
especially during baseball season when it really matters more to baseball season than it does.
I'm serious. Jamie would say that Saban. Call him on his cell phone. James Spann's cell phone. Wanted to know about practice, or what's going on at the bowl. He'd call all the time, like, what do we got to look forward to as far as the weather? And
here's an idea.
James always telling him.
Why don't you get Jamie to call in one day a week or so, or at least once a month?
If I asked her,
there he is, the man. So what you're saying, Rob, is anybody but Coach Hale, right?
It makes me nervous. I'm up here.
Yeah, give him a break. He's like I said, he's not going to be there next Thursday and Friday. So Monday will be up in the air. The following Monday up there if he gets back or not.
But you know what, Rob? It makes you miss me. It makes you miss me.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
That's right. Now back to the real reason that I called the FSU update.
Yes.
I know that all y'all, or Jeremy and them went to the game and stuff. I feel like that was not a good representation of FSU because before the game, the coach said, and they were on their pregame interview and stuff, that what they were hoping was their starting pitcher would get them into the fifth, possibly the sixth inning, use one guy, use the guys out of the bullpen for an inning at the time, get them through that, because everybody started conference play this week.
Right.
Well, he gets through 3 up, 3 down first inning, the starting pitcher, 2 pitches into the second inning, he hurts his elbow out, and he has to be removed from the game.
Yep.
The reliever, so they bring in what they feel like is a long reliever. He did well for 3 innings. And then he got tired, and then Florida put 3 on him, and it made it. The first guy that he inherited an 0-2 count, and he walked him. Then he either got around on an error or whatever, and then stole a base. He scored, so it was 1-0 up until like the 3rd or 4th inning. That Florida scored 3 runs, and then it was just kind of like. But I think FSU, the air got let out of their bubble early when their starting pitcher got hurt. And I think they kind of just, threw people. They didn't want to hurt any of their arms because of conference coming this weekend.
You're exactly right. I mean, the game had a great environment, and then you had the injury, and of course, you get as much time as you need coming out of the bullpen. So now you had about a 10-minute delay, just kind of, and after that, it just kind of turned into a. I won't say a glorified exhibition, but it's kind of what it was. Link Jarrett, made multiple pitching changes and just kind of got through and gave everybody a chance to get a little bit of work on the mound, and Florida had separated at that point. So, it had a good feel to it, and then guy got hurt, and those things happen, and it just changed the dynamic on a game that really is irrelevant because they're both going to be number one, in a regional hosting, somebody later in the year. So, but a good night. Number 5, number 7, and they'll play a couple more times. And you would like to see them just kind of go at each other, but it's a midweek game, and you'd rather see them play at least in the midweek than just avoid each other, or pick up somebody that they know they're going to cruise to a victory over.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing is you just kind of like you wish that it was a close game, back and forth till about the 7th, the 8th inning, and whoever, because it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who wins that game except for bragging rights and stuff. But it didn't turn out to be the game that everybody hoped for, is excitement and all that sort of stuff. It just kind of lacked the luster once the starting pitcher got hurt, and I just don't think. And I'll give this to that kid that started for Florida. He threw some bullets, and I'm not sure that FSU's bats are as good as everybody thinks they could be. My son went over there and called a couple. He umpired for them at some of their scrimmage games and stuff. And when he came home, he said, "Hey, their pitching's good." He said he wasn't real sure about their bats, but the pitching was real good. Now, so it'll be interesting what this weekend turns out for both teams. I think Florida is well stacked. When Florida has problems is when they have a lot of injuries. And, as long as they can keep everybody healthy, Florida's going to be tough.
Rob, that's what I was going to ask you. You got some connections over there. I was going to ask you that. Do you think are they as good as they're being ranked? I mean, they're ranked, 5th in the nation. Do you think they're that good? They got a chance to do something special this year, or no, they're overranked?
Well, I think they've picked up some people from the portal. They're pretty good. I mean, but there again, an injury here and an injury there. They have only 2 outfielders that are starting now. The center fielder that started the other night, second baseman, because they've had so many injuries in the outfield.
Wow.
So the guy, right? So there you go. So it's kind of where are we with injuries? And now the bright light for him right now is the first guy hits number 1 in the lineup. He's got a 16 game. He's got a base hit in every game, and I think he's got like 6 stolen bases. So he's a bright light for him.
Yeah.
If he gets on every time, and nobody can move him over, then he's not a whole lot of good to you.
Did you get a chance? Did you go over there, or did you just watch it on TV?
No, I listened to it on radio. I didn't get home in time to watch it. I listened to it on the podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Jeremy, how was the trip? Was it? Everybody have a good time?
Oh yeah, very good trip. It was a gorgeous night for baseball. My gosh, the weather's past 2 nights.
Not cold?
No, and there was not a bit of wind. Flags were just there, not even moving, but it was glorious. No humidity, so great atmosphere. A lot of the folks from the legislature had come over, your Capitol had come over. You could tell, legislature in session, and a lot of folks in suits, and all make their way over.
Yeah,
biggest thing going on in Tallahassee that night, I'm sure.
Did y'all get the tickets beforehand, or did you? Okay.
We just had block tickets there. We've done that last several years, and it fills up quickly. Fun trip.
What was the percentage of people that you took over there, FSU or Florida fans?
It's about 60-40 Knowles fans on this one.
Yeah.
But for your Florida fans, it's as close as they're going to get to see them, so they jump on the trip too. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you do that. Yeah, that's something y'all do every single year.
Mm-hmm.
Rob, we got to go over there with them one week. We was chaperone.
Yeah, no doubt. Are you, Jeremy? Are y'all going to go to the Jacksonville game?
No, we just did the one to Tallahassee there, and kind of because it's over and back. I mean, there were some kids that they checked out of school, and when I do that with mine, I tell them I'm going on a campus visit. So I kind of make it sound a little better.
Well, all right. I understand. My dad told me when I was growing up, he said, "Look, if you ever want to go hunting or fishing, you just let me know, and I'll sign you out. But if I ever catch you skipping, that'll come to an end." And I will take you. I never skipped a class in all my years of school, but I did get to go hunting and fishing when I wanted to go.
Yeah.
Rob, we have run out of time. Thank you so much for the call. Thank you so much for the Auburn FSU update. I'm thinking about what I got to say about Auburn. But you have a great day, and thank you, buddy. Good hearing that voice, man.
Y'all do the same. Be careful in this weather this weekend.
All right. Thank you, buddy. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, Josh, did North Bay have him get a new weight room or I see all these equipment there, the school colors. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't. I'll peek at it.
Yeah, Andy just shared this. It's really nice. They're showing North Bay Havens.
I hope they're getting a new weight room. I know that.
Yeah, they got power racks in there, and they're the school colors that kind of like the Carolina blue.
Cool.
And very impressed. You said, Jeremy? That's pretty nice.
Looking good.
Yeah, good job. You can build some with that now. That's good. It takes a year or two, but you can get it done. All right, let's talk about some of our great people. We got so many. I went yesterday to Paparazzi Pizza, had a great time. Great food. Julie loves that. We get pepperoni, mushroom, and peppers. Really good stuff. Then we headed to J. Michael's and got 4 spaghettis to go. So we did a lot of eating yesterday.
But then he comes in and goes, I don't
feel good. I don't feel good. Can't walk, can't sleep. Anyway, 1 in 5 develop skin cancer. It can be deadly. Females, women, you have to worry about the 2 top things you have to worry about. It's breast cancer, and then it's skin cancer. And I believe skin cancer is number 1. I do believe that. Now, Dr. Ward can help you with this. You all got out in the skin when you were younger, playing outside, going to the beach, going to the swimming pools, and hopefully you didn't get into a tanning bed. That's the worst thing you do for your skin. Never get in a tanning bed. But what you do today, you pay for later. So if you're getting up there in years, you want to make sure you go get checked once a year at least that. But if it doesn't look right, doesn't feel right, go see Dr. Ward. Don't put it off. If you're listening right now, throughout the Panhandle of Florida, there's an office near you, and he's throughout the Panhandle of Florida. He's operated on me twice. He's done an incredible job. They are skilled. They know what they're doing. The whole staff is outstanding. Dr. Ward, 1 in 5 develop skin cancer. Put on the sunscreen. There's shirts they make now. They can block it out. If you're going to be out jogging, Jeremy, fishing and stuff like that, make sure you got the right cloth on. But Dr. Ward, listen to him every Wednesday, 7:30. He did a great job yesterday, by the way. And we shall be right. Well, wait a minute. Let me do one more. Patrick, love Patrick. Every Monday, 8:30, Patrick's right here with us. But do you want that yard to look beautiful? If you worry about insects and things like that, you don't have to worry anymore. Turf Pro Pest Control, they'll take care of both. They are incredible. And after I get through doing all my chores and doing everything I need, I got to think about the people I love, the people I care about. My birthday's Sunday. Where should I go to get a special gift for somebody? Where should you go?
I knew that birthday plug was coming in there. But, this is the time of the year when people are getting engaged and want to have those beach weddings. And if you have a one-of-a-kind woman, you want to get her a one-of-a-kind ring, and you can do that at David Adamson Designer Jewelry, Highway 77, Lynn Haven. They can have that engagement ring designed and on her finger in 10 days or less, and they can do it cheaper than anybody here in the Florida Panhandle.
They can design it. They can build. They can do it all.
All you got to do.
What'd you say? One of a kind ring.
One of a kind ring.
If Julie got me one,
woman.
If she got me one, it'd be one of a kind.
One of a kind nose ring. Yeah. Which they do those too.
Why are y'all laughing?
At David Anderson Designer Jewelry. I've been trying to get him a choker, but
we'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Bill Allen, Greg Winicki, 2 experts that really run Tallahassee and Florida State Athletic Department.
Declare for the draft, but if nobody declares they
I want to ask you both real quick.
You got to go somewhere else.
He comes on there and he says, I'll come under one condition, that each one of my offensive linemen gets paid X. There you go.
Weekday morning, 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, a mixture of light sprinkles and some clouds and a high of 70 with wind 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the south. Slight fog and some clouds tonight and quite warm near 65. Slightly foggy in the morning followed by some clouds and 72 tomorrow. 74 and a variety of some clouds and sprinkles Saturday. This is your Thursday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
National Cleaning Week is almost here. Join us for Spring Clean Weekend at Tommy's Express. It's been a long winter of salt, dirt, and road grime, and your car needs some love. Wash for free with us. Saturday, March 22nd and Sunday, March 23rd. Use our free vacuums and floor mat washers and check out our detail kits to complete the interior clean. Spruce up your car for free this weekend at Tommy's Express. Highway 77 and 23rd Street next to Starbucks.
Ready for a great deal? It's Ready, Set, Go time at Panama City Toyota, where you can get 3.99% APR on the perfect combination of sport and utility in the new RAV4, plus 90 days until you make your first payment. Get 1.99% on the ruggedly refined Tacoma, plus 90 days until you make your first payment. And get 1.99% on a new Tundra, named best resale value in its class by Kelley Blue Book. Ready, Set, Go.
Offer ends March 31st. For details, visit PanamaCityToyota.com.
Give him a call. Phone lines are open. 850-215-6290. The Coach James Hale Show is taking your calls live and local. From the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Josh, your father-in-law is a legend. I love that guy. He has lost so much weight. Him, his wife, beautiful people, inside and out. He's a preacher. He's a lawyer. He's everything. The guy's incredible. He's a Gator.
He is a Gator.
How's he doing?
He's great and working hard. He's always at the Ark, at the poor, serving, loving, trying to reach out to the community.
He lives it now. He lives.
I passed him the other day on Back Beach, and he's known. If you know him, he's known for stopping on the side of the road, picking someone up, taking them, get something to eat, shower, or whatever.
Got a good heart, man.
I had to do a double check the other day on Back Beach. I saw him with a person I didn't know in the car, and but he was taking them to go cleaned up. Man, it's a pretty special thing they got going.
Good man right there. I really like them. All right, I want to jump into the SEC commissioner. There's a couple things. Number one, we were talking about yesterday. Going forward, you could see only 16 sports at SEC schools and Big Ten schools. Wisconsin's athletic director was asked about it, and he was asked about the comments by our commissioner, our great commissioner, Greg Sankey. And he said, yes, it could be the follow the NCAA guidelines where you had the minimum would be 16 sporting attendance. We were talking about how it's going to devastate, and Brian was talking about there'd probably be club sports for swimming and things like that. And I was always wondering about, as big as it's gotten, gymnastics is really big in the SEC. Mm-hmm. And so we don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't think that's going to go away. Softball is definitely not going to go away. But I want to ask you this. Now, the latest question to him was, and he downplayed it, and I don't think it will happen. I really don't think it'll happen. But he was asked about the model that the ACC is going to do with the sharing of TV ratings, where FSU and Clemson are the king of that. So they're going to get more money. Now, if you do that in the SEC, there's 3 schools, and especially one until Saban quit. It dropped somewhat this year. But in the past, it would have been Alabama, Texas, and Georgia. Mm-hmm. Now you could probably say it's Texas, Georgia, and Alabama, whatever. Those 3 teams could actually pull a Florida State, pull a Clemson, demand more money, because you go back and watch this past year with Ohio State right there, the top 4 most teams watched this past year is Alabama, Texas, Georgia, and Ohio State. Not in that order, but those 4 teams. 3 from the SEC. He didn't even want to talk about it. He wouldn't even mention it. Well, he had to respond to it, but you could tell he didn't want to talk about it, really. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Alabama, they already right now are sharing, each one team running the league right now gets $52.5 million. They say it's only going to go up from here. Josh, you ever see the SEC doing anything like this? I think there's too many blue bloods, too many powerful programs. Yeah.
Top to bottom, there's too many people who want a piece of the pie.
Yeah, even the Vanderbilts deserve it, I think. South Carolina.
Well, and it's sports specific too. Like your Vanderbilts and your baseballs, and there's not just a school that has a dominant in every sport.
Mississippi State's won the national championship in baseball. Yep. Ole Miss has. Ole Miss football is good. They're really good. Got to give them credit. Mm-hmm. Jeremy, I don't think it will happen.
You're going to create too much disparity in an already hyper competitive conference, and now you're going to have a true measure of favoritism that will create more inequity. I mean, let's talk about competitive balance. Yeah, different sports matter, but you're not going to see Vanderbilt in Atlanta unless they play Georgia Tech. So let's just name that. And if you go down this road, there'll be a lot more of that even in other sports. Vandy would get their share of baseball, and Alabama may never creep in. So it's a dangerous road to go down.
Well, I don't think it's going to happen. You don't want anybody to get their feelings hurt and pull out and go somewhere else. Say Texas, you know how Texas A&M Texas rivalry is. There's not a lot of love between those two schools. They get good ratings, but they're not up there with Texas. So you may tell me the SEC's we're going to give them another $10 million compared to you. They were told at one time Texas would never be in the league, and they're in the league. So I don't think it's going to happen. I don't. Now the other question is the ACC going forward. I think in 2030, I believe now, to get out of that contract, to get out of there, it's going to make $75 million. In 2026, where everything could get crazy in 2026, if you left then, it's $165 million. And everybody kind of thinks they're going to break off to the two super leagues in 2026. I'm not sure about that yet, but it wouldn't surprise me. Now, if you're the commissioner of the SEC, and I'll go first, and I'll let you guys tell me what you think. Who would you go after? Would you go, now think it's all about the money. If you get FSU and Clemson, they make more, people watch them. They were 2-10. They're still the second most, or maybe the most, I think they're the first most watched team in the ACC, 2-10. They're a blue blood. People watch FSU. They want them to lose or they want them to win, but people watch them. Same thing with Clemson. Money. North Carolina and Virginia are in that ACC. They don't get the TV shares that FSU and Clemson. But if it was me, even though, and I'm thinking about across the board. I'm not thinking football. I would go after North Carolina and Virginia because you got two brand new states, two huge states that can bring you more fan base, more TV, and in the long run, I think more money. Even though FSU and Clemson turn on the TV more than those two schools when it comes to football. Basketball is different. Baseball's better than Florida State and Clemson also, I believe. I just think the two states, like the Big Ten did, I just think it's, in the long run, you got everybody wanting to buy, make sure they got ESPN because you know what I'm talking about? Am I wrong?
You're sounding like a true SEC commissioner. I mean, really, and here's why. Clemson's never going to give up the South Carolina game in that scenario. You know, if Clemson,
and you've already got that state.
Right, right. You've already got South Carolina. So Clemson's not going to say, well, we're not going to play South Carolina since we didn't get in the conference. They're going to keep that in state. Same thing with Florida State. Florida State and Florida are going to play. Florida State wouldn't walk from that ball game. But you bring North Carolina and Virginia and you do expand the footprint, and the two schools that you mentioned have natural rivals within the conference that, they need those ball games. They need that exposure. So I don't think you'd see a scenario where Texas and Texas A&M parted ways and that game didn't happen for 15 years. They're just not.
If you're ABC or ESPN, and they're going to have a say, and I do. They're going to give their input to the commissioner. You know, that's their partner. They're going to do that. And if I'm ABC and ESPN, we already got all four of them anyway. But let's go sell our brand more in North Carolina and Virginia. We already got the state of what's your you are in this. What do you think?
You're going from Texas all the way up to Virginia. That's the
old Southern Conference.
We're going to have to rename the conference, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, you make good points. I mean, if it's about money, if it's about numbers, let's go that direction. If it's about the quality of the league, you know, maybe the Florida State or the Clemson are your choices. You know? So. Really, just the direction. I mean, good thing I'm not the commissioner, not to make that decision.
And look what the Big Ten did. They didn't need Rutgers in the Big Ten. They're not going to ever win a Big Ten championship. I don't think UCLA will ever win a Big Ten championship. But they had to do that They wanted to go from East Coast to West Coast, get all the TV networks, get all this huge revenue off that, and that's what they did. And I think that's what the SEC is going to do. Even though, me personally, I would love to have – but I'm going to tell you another thing about FSU. I think that's the team that everybody fears the most. I don't think Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, LSU, Mississippi State, none of these teams around Florida want them in because that would take them over the top, I think. Florida definitely don't want them in. Now, Clemson, you don't want them in either, especially South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee. But if I had to pick one to come in if I was worried about them becoming too strong, it would be Clemson. Is that crazy? I just think FSU's a sleeping giant.
It's going to be one of those the networks are going to factor in. You have tremendous market there in the Triangle. If you get, that Raleigh-Durham, all that area. We didn't mention Duke.
Charlotte.
Yeah, we mentioned Duke, relative to that, or even NC State, another UNC rival there on, Tobacco Road.
Or Virginia Tech.
Or Virginia Tech over in Blacksburg, as being impacted. But none of those schools will give that game up. Now, the one piece we might look at, Maryland going to the Big Ten. When Maryland left, they left. They quit playing Duke, quit playing Virginia. They just walked. Yeah. So you might see that kind of reaction.
And they're making twice as much money.
Yeah.
And losing.
There's still some sore feelings there with Maryland having just kind of ripped some long-standing relationships there. So, but change is coming.
When we get back, we got Alabama. Jeremy's going to talk about the mighty Crimson Tide. A lot of stuff going up in Tuscaloosa. But right now, let's talk about some of our great people. I love Pat Pernot. He used to take care of us way back in the day. We used to do TV shows over there with high school football in Bay County. He did a great job. He treated us extremely well. They always do. They're always giving back to the community. He's a city commissioner. Lynn Haven does a great job there, but his restaurant's unbelievable. And we're talking about beef braised in Lynn Haven. Yesterday, 10 wings inside for $9.99. They got special 10 for 10 going on all the time. The SEC tournament, you can go watch all the games there. You can watch all SEC baseball, ACC baseball, you name it. You can do it right there at Beef Braised in Lynn Haven. Customer service, the best you'll get anywhere. They're incredible. Get out to Beef Braised in Lynn Haven and tell them Coach sent you. Pat, love you, brother. All right, the local 115, downtown historical Panama City. It's like a Hall of Fame. You go in there, you could be a cheerleader, band member, any sport, swimming, weightlifting, football, baseball, basketball, you name it. Your pitcher or someone you know's pitcher's probably there. Go have a great time. It's a healthier option, nothing fried, oysters, crab cake, seafood, gumbo, salad bar, by the way, wings, you name it, they got it all. And they got the Tommy Oliver draft beer. And the price stays the same. It's incredible. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Keep the game going with ESPN Northwest Florida. Just because you get out of the car doesn't mean the Sports Talk and Live play-by-play have to end. Just say, hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida. From Michigan Avenue to the Man Cave, from the car to the kitchen, we've got you covered. Keep the game going. Hey, Alexa, open ESPN Northwest Florida.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts and Deli. Call 763-1627.
Bestway Portable Buildings recognizes the optimism in the air, and a golden age has begun for all to share. Bestway has been constructing durable, custom-made portable buildings in just about any size since 1989. They know what they're doing. Of course, you're not obligated in any way to buy from Bestway Portable Buildings. However, owner Jason Mulder asks that you please give them a try before you buy. Bestway Portable Buildings, a golden age builder north of the Old Mall on Highway 231 and online at bestwayportablebuildings.com.
Powered by Panama Panama City Toyota. Your home for Auburn Tiger basketball. WGSX Lynn Haven. WVLQ Port St. Joe. ESPN Northwest Florida. We don't know what his problem is. But it's probably hard to pronounce and untreatable.
That don't feel so good.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michael Studio. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Roll Alabama Update is brought to you by the legendary Stevenson Air Conditioning. We tell you all the time, if you can go buy anything from a local company, you do it. Support people that grew up here. Locals taking care of locals, that's a big deal. We don't want to do anything with national stores, national anything. That's the reason I will always use, and I'm glad I have, and that is Jason at Stevenson Air Conditioning. Most honest, hardworking people you can deal with. They're incredible. They're there for you anytime, day or night. Now, we got some bad weather. If something gets damaged at your house and you got to get some things replaced or someone to come out and check things out, you make sure you call Stevenson Air Conditioning. They'll come out. They'll take care of you. They do an incredible job. Jason graduated from Mosley High Schools. Locals taking care of locals throughout the Panhandle of Florida. That's Stevenson Air Conditioning. All right, Jeremy, what do you got for us today on Alabama?
Well, I will start Alabama baseball, and all good things must come to an end. Alabama's baseball team dropped their first game of the season Sunday afternoon against Presbyterian. Pop quiz, what's Presbyterian's mascot name?
Oh, that's the butterfly.
Blue Hose.
Blue what?
Hose. Yep, the stockings, the blue hose.
Oh, hose, okay.
So they came in to play a non-conference and got 2 out of 3 from Presbyterian. They did go over to Birmingham and played Tuesday night against UAB there at Regents Field and came away victorious 6-3 over the Blazers, and that finishes the non-conference for Alabama at 17-1. So it's pretty remarkable. Now, we turn to conference play, and a very interesting first series. They head out to College Station.
Ooh.
Yeah, Texas A&M they were ranked number 1 in the nation, and they have fallen to number 19. They have dropped several ball games.
Now, tell me if I'm correct or not. Isn't this the guy's first year as a head coach?
Yes, because they had the flip there. Yeah. So first game will be tomorrow night at 6:00 there at College Station. Saturday at 2. Sunday at 4. Games will be on the SEC Plus or SEC Network, just depending on the coverage. But pivotal first series in the conference to kind of see where we stand. Our non-conference schedule, decent. You know, you had NC State, Ohio State, Coastal Carolina over in Jacksonville. Otherwise, it was kind of Bradley, Coastal, Presbyterian. So we'll see. But a lot of interest around this team after doing so well in the non-conference.
I want to ask about baseball. Mark McLeod does a great job covering sports, all sports, but especially the Florida Gators. We were talking about weather, Florida, and how it affects, and the Alabama this week is a 3-day event. This weather they can get some bad weather today, especially Friday and Saturday. He said they will keep teams there, even if they have to play 2, maybe even 3 games in one day to get the games in. Now, Alabama's going out there. That's where the bad weather is now. Do they fly around that stuff? This is such a big system.
Yeah.
And they'll stay there, right, until they get all 3 games played?
Right. There is, I think, a conference rule around kind of breaking away for travel purposes on the Sunday. But then each team seems to get one of these Saturday, Sunday, Monday series during the year because they need something for the network on Monday night. So if you look through the schedule, most will be played Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then there's a hard break, to get them out to travel on Sunday afternoon in some cases. But you'll get that one series where you'll start it on Saturday and they play Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and they kind of spread that out amongst the teams.
So they could keep them there an extra day.
Could possibly do that.
But they got to get them in, is what I'm talking about.
Right. They won't get those in. And then on the ladies' side, Alabama softball, they open conference play as well. Now they're 20-7, so they started out kind of rough, but they've gotten back on the winning ways. Played a very difficult non-conference schedule and multiple tournaments, and that's kind of the format in softball. We go bring a bunch of teams in. They went out to Arizona, St. Petersburg, but Mississippi State will be coming over for 3 games. Mississippi State's ranked number 19. Alabama's unranked. When have you heard that in softball?
I know, that's crazy.
Yeah. So
what's happened?
I just think the difficulty of the schedule right now caught up with them, and I think they're a better team than what has shown. Softball is just a matter of 1 or 2 plays here too before it breaks open. So,
well, I was going to ask you. So you don't think they did a poor job with NIL or recruiting, because they kind of always play a tough schedule, but they've been so talented.
Yeah.
And maybe they just dropped off in talent, but you just think it's the schedule?
I think the schedule got them. I mean, it was brutal. And so I really expect Alabama to take care of business against Mississippi State this weekend and be 3-0 coming out of the weekend. So I think this is a short-term.
Where's that game played at this weekend?
All in Tuscaloosa there. So, and then the SEC tournament, that's the one everybody's talking about with regard to the men. Oklahoma and Kentucky will play tonight. Winner gets Alabama in the late game tomorrow. A lot of excitement over Saturday's game in Neville Arena. If you're an Alabama fan, I had them splitting during the season. I did not have them splitting that way. I did not have each of them winning on the road.
I thought the home team would win, maybe.
Yeah, but to Alabama's credit, coming off of the losses to Tennessee and Florida, they showed up.
Yeah.
And that was really the question. Nate Oates was, imploring them to put forth an effort, and they did.
That's a great game. Overtime win.
It was an absolute great game. So the result of that is that they are opposite the bracket now, and while it's not a given that Alabama could get past Kentucky or Florida, if they do, Alabama and Auburn would play on Sunday for the SEC championship. So when has that happened? Alabama and Auburn have played 10 times in the SEC tournament. In the history.
That.
Yep, 10
but
times.
how many times for the championship?
For the championship, a couple of times here, I think that occurred. The 1985 game, Sonny Smith had indicated he was already stepping down. Auburn ran the table and actually won the SEC in overtime that year. The other games were kind of semifinals or even quarterfinal games, second round game type things. So, but I thought you could give us a good recap on that very first time they played in 1941 when it was Alabama 38, Auburn 16. I mean, when have you seen a basketball score like that?
Let's get your dad on the phone. Your dad might know. How old is your dad?
Oh, man, 50. So he's young.
Oh, he's younger than me.
Yeah. But the first time was in 41, and the score was 38-16. It's like, when have you seen a basketball score 38-16? I mean, had the peach baskets up during that time.
They didn't have a three-point shot back then.
No three-point shot either.
Reason.
Yeah.
They played defense back then.
A lot of defense.
Yeah, a lot of defense and pre-shot clock. I mean, you just stand there and wait 5 minutes.
4 corners, yeah.
Right, 4 corner stall. So, but 85 was the one time they played. Now, most recently in the SEC tournament, it was 2018. Bruce Pearl, coached them there, and Avery Johnson was coach for Alabama, but Alabama won that one 81-63. So could it happen again, the 11th meeting? Absolutely. So we'll be excited to see how the tournament plays out.
Cannot wait, man. We'll come back and talk about these games here in a little while. I've already come out and said 2 weeks ago, I said Auburn's going to win it all. SEC tournament at national championship. I didn't think anybody could beat them. And then they go out to A&M, and then they lose at home to Alabama. Now, Alabama did the same thing last year. They kind of fell apart at the end and then had an unbelievable run. Does Auburn do that? I think definitely got the ability to do it. But I'm telling you, after watching Florida, I watched Florida in Tuscaloosa that game. I watched Florida in Auburn. I watched that one. If Florida is healthy and they get a little hot, I think Florida can win, not just the SEC tournament. I think they can win it all. Matter of fact, that's my pick. I'm going to go with Florida to win it all. If you had to pick right now the national championship, who would it be? I got Florida.
Duke's going to be your freshest team coming in.
Let me think about it.
Okay, before we get out of here today.
But you make a great point about Florida. Auburn's getting everybody's best. Alabama's not far behind. Tennessee has been up there. Kentucky is Kentucky. So here you are in that group as Florida. No one's talking about you, and you're just stealthily knocking everybody off.
They're amazing, man.
You don't have a target on your back like those other programs do, and you can just come in and play loose.
And think about what their head basketball coach has been through this year. Mm-hmm. They went after him. He got cleared of all that. And to stay focused and do what they've done, the players and teams, that's pretty incredible. Yeah. I'm impressed with that.
Yeah.
All right, Alabama Update's been brought to you by Stevenson Air Conditioning. Love Jason and their crew. If you have any problem, your power bill's going to the roof, call Stevenson Air Conditioning. You're not getting warm, not getting cool when it should be, call Stevenson Air Conditioning. They're incredible. They're number one, not even close. The legendary J. Michael's Restaurant, the best seafood, the coldest beer. Go check it out. You'll love it. Try the pork chop. It's huge. It's unbelievable. They got great steaks. Jeff had a burger. LSU Jeff had a cheeseburger there. It's huge. They got the best burgers on the beach, I think. The best food you'll get anywhere. The legendary J. Michael's Restaurant. Also, don't forget about Chad Mitchell, another legend around here in the Panhandle of Florida. People come from miles away just to have Chad check on them and especially operate. He can do it the old-fashioned way. He can do robotic surgery. The guy is incredible. Listen to him every Monday right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Newbies, 4 great locations. The new one in St. Andrews. Get out and have a great time. Newbies 2 on the Curve. Go watch all these basketball games. Go watch SEC baseball right there at Newbies 2. Head on down to the mothership. Have a great time. We'll be right back. The Auburn Tigers when we get back.
ESPN Northwest Florida is taking it to the hole. Your home for the most live college basketball on the Gulf Coast. The ACC, SEC, and the biggest games in the country. Plus the official station of March Madness.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
Hear every slam dunk in ultra-high fidelity right here.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, a mixture of light sprinkles and some clouds and a high of 70 with wind 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the south. Slight fog and some clouds tonight and quite warm near 65. Slightly foggy in the morning followed by some clouds and 72 tomorrow. 74 and a variety of some clouds and sprinkles Saturday. This is your Thursday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
From the Vortex Springs to the Bear Paw Canoe Trail. From Shell Island to 30A. We're your home for live sports. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Eagle. Hey, Martha, Kenny, James, Jenna. Hey.
Jeremy looks very enthusiastic with that.
Jeremy's fair and balanced, man. He's fair and balanced. Josh, I think Josh is a Tiger. You a Tiger?
I'm a Tiger.
Yep. Proud of it, too. You should be. I tell you, that basketball program is incredible. Football's going to be back next year. I think it'll be really good. I want to say, get out to Beef O'Brady's. Jeremy, talk for a minute. Beef O'Brady's, Lynn Haven. Go have a great time.
Well, so Auburn update. Of course, we were talking SEC basketball tournament. You got to look at the other end of the bracket, and Auburn sitting there as the 1 seed, SEC champion, has a pretty straightforward path to Sunday. Just kind of go out and take care of business. They avoid Florida, avoid Kentucky. So you got Ole Miss, South Carolina, Arkansas in your way. That's a pretty good path. And then you have to look at Tennessee coming at from the other side. So
it's going to be Tennessee, Auburn. It's going to be Florida, Alabama. Big Jim, we got Big Jim on the phone. He might say something different. Big Jim, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. I like your program. Listen to it every morning.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Where do you live at?
Well, right now I live in Florida. I've lived here a long time, but I was born and raised in Arkansas.
Good man. That's where Paul Bear Bryant was raised.
Yes, I know.
Were you near here? Was it Floridine? Where was he born? I think it was Floridine. Where was it, Jeremy?
Fordyce.
Yeah, somewhere out there.
I think of that.
What town? Where were you from out there?
Well, I was born and raised on a rice farm in Hazen, Arkansas, about 40 miles east of Little Rock.
All right. Hey, Little Rock, you know that stadium? They got a zoo near it. We were playing out there. I got my knee tore up playing out there in Arkansas in that stadium. It's an old turf. Never forget it. Oh, man. Anyway, what do you got for us?
That's Warren Morgan.
Yeah. What do you got for us today? Tell us what we did wrong.
Well, I just wonder why you never mentioned Arkansas. You know, in baseball, we're ranked number 3 in the nation.
Yeah.
And we got Calipari, and our basketball team is just beat South Carolina, I believe, and we're going to be in, we're improving. The only problem we have right now in our state is we can't compete with this new pay the player to come for our football team. It's just awful. We don't have, and even though, we got some big spenders like Jones, Dallas Cowboys. He's a big alumni. You think he'd donate some money and get some good players up there?
Yeah, you do. I like Sam Pittman. I like the offensive coordinator, the former head coach. They did a good job last year with the talent they had. But I'm like, it's like you said, though, if you can't buy them now, you're not going to get them. Remember the old days, if you grew up in Arkansas, you wanted to go play at Arkansas. You grew up in Alabama, it was either Auburn or Alabama. And you wouldn't go anywhere else with one of those schools if you grew up there. And now we had the top 10 players in the state of Alabama. Not one went to Alabama. 8 went to Auburn. The 2 they really wanted, one of them went to Ohio State, the other went to Oregon because of money. So you're exactly right about that. And I want to ask you about basketball. Did Coach didn't he make a comment, the tournament, he didn't care about the SEC tournament?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't heard that comment, but Calipari, we spent a lot of money to get him. And I think so far he's done a pretty good job. But the problem that kills little states like Arkansas, even though you got some big alumni that's got plenty of money like Jones.
Yeah.
We just can't pay to get the players, and that's what has run all of college football, in my opinion.
I'm with you. Did you hear the latest? Going forward, we might have just 16 sporting events, 16 sporting teams in the SEC across the board if they have to go to this employee formula. And that's the least you can have to be a member of the ACC. And that was from the SEC commissioner. Not for sure, but that's what could happen. And that Wisconsin's AD, they asked him about it, and he said that's correct. So you're talking the 2 richest conferences in sports may have to drop all these all these teams, which is, to me, is sad.
Well, you remember we used to have the Southwest Conference, and Arkansas was the only team outside of the state of Texas.
Yeah.
And I was glad to see us going to Southeast Conference, but I was also sad to see Oklahoma and Texas A&M and all them join the conference. I thought they, that kind of killed a lot of the actually what Southeast Conference is, because Texas is not in the Southeast.
Yeah.
It's Texas.
and really, though, think what it did for Arkansas when they joined the SEC. Look at the amount of money. Look at their facilities. I mean, they're making a lot more money than those other schools were.
Yeah, Arkansas and South Carolina really benefited in '92.
Yeah. And it all changed, like he said. That's like Texas A&M. When they got in with Missouri, they were really upset big time when they brought Texas in. I mean, they didn't like that one bit. And they were kind of told it wouldn't happen, but it happened. Money rules.
Well, you know, we kind of hate to see Texas come in because you remember back in 1964, I think that's who we beat in the national championship, our only national championship in football.
I think it was.
Yeah, that old Southwest Conference there was basically Texas, all the Texas schools, and then Arkansas attached to it there.
Hey, Jim, I remember one game, Arkansas, I was shocked. Oklahoma was favored by, I want to say 17. Lou Holtz was the coach at Arkansas. They go play in the Orange Bowl. And I think he kicked off 2 or 3 of the best players at Arkansas. And Arkansas went in there, and they ran the split-back veer, and they beat Oklahoma like a drum. I think it was like 31-6. Do you remember that game?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I do. I don't miss the game. I used to go to them, but now that I live in Florida, I've lived down here too long, I think. I miss going up to Fayetteville and watching some of the games.
Well, let me ask you this question. So, Alabama had kind of the split with Birmingham and Tuscaloosa, and eventually all the games now are in Tuscaloosa. But Arkansas has this with Fayetteville and Little Rock, at War Memorial Stadium. So what's your take there, with Alabama doing the games in Birmingham? It was more to play to the alumni that lived in Birmingham, and but there's still some conversation around Arkansas playing at War Memorial every now and then with games primarily at Fayetteville. But what's your sentiment on that?
Well, the reason they do it is because it's easier to get to Little Rock than it is to Fayetteville if you're flying around the country, especially alumni.
Fly to Tulsa.
Yeah, so it's a lot easier to get there, even though War Memorial Stadium, at one time we had, I forget the other team, but Buffalo of the NFL, they played a exhibition game in War Memorial Stadium. The only time we ever had any of the big leagues come down and play there. But we've had some good baseball players. I guess you remember our third baseman, Brooke Robinson. Mm-hmm. And we got some good players. Our baseball team is going to be doing good this year. I think we've lost 1 game so far.
Well, SEC baseball there for sure. I mean, it's just stout. It really is. And Arkansas is right up there. I mean, it's one of the great venues for sure. So,
well, Jim.
Well, I tell you what, you guys do a great job. I listen to you every morning. I won't miss you.
Well, I appreciate that. I love when people say that. We go to different restaurants and people come up and talk to us. That's when I started realizing people actually listen. We were like, why? But we're glad. Anyway.
Well, I don't miss you. I get up and go get my coffee. In fact, I'm sitting in front of a little marathon station now drinking my coffee and listening to your program.
Oh, man. Thank you, Big Jim. Call us again, okay? Thank you, sir.
I certainly will.
Bye-bye.
Y'all have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Well, this has been your Arkansas Razorback update.
I got some. I tell you what, Bear Bryant's from Arkansas. They had some great coaches come from that state. Jimmy Johnson.
There's kind of some fresh blood into the program.
I love that, man. Real quick, Auburn, they came out with a strength of schedule. They went by SP, strength of schedule. They used some kind of formula, which really doesn't mean a lot right now because they're going to have another time where the kids can transfer in, transfer out. So the rosters are going to change. But this is what we have to go with today. And these are national rankings. And this just shows you how strong top to bottom the SEC is. The number 1 toughest schedule in the SEC is Oklahoma. Number 2 is the Florida Gators. I'm going to tell you right now, don't worry about that. I'm telling you, you heard it here first. Florida's going to be really good. Florida's back. Florida is back. Number 3 is Arkansas. We just talked to Big Jim. Arkansas has the third toughest schedule in all of college football. Vandy's at number 5. Mississippi State's number 6. South Carolina's number 7. Kentucky has the 8th toughest schedule. Listen to this, guy. This is the nation. This is not the SEC. This is a nation. Number 9's LSU. Number 10's Texas A&M. Number 11's Alabama. Number 12 is Texas. Number 13's Georgia. Auburn is 15th, not 14th, but 15th. Somebody else in the country got 14th. Auburn's schedule is 15th toughest in schedule. Ole Miss is 23rd. Tennessee's 24th. Missouri, 25th. So if you're an Ole Miss fan, and they got really a lot of good talent on that football team, Tennessee, they got some talent. Those 2 teams can go have good years because their schedule's a lot easier compared to everybody else. Missouri has a chance to have a decent year. Now, for Florida, for Oklahoma, for Arkansas to win 9 games or go 9-3 or something like that, it's going to be very difficult, the schedule they play. Florida's going to do it. You can mark it down. Florida's going to win 9. One other thing I want to talk about today before we get out of here. You mentioned Regions Ballpark, right? You mentioned that.
Yep.
Okay. Guess what they're going to start having there?
I don't know.
What famous running back, Heisman Trophy winner, is from that area? Bessemer, right outside there. First name's Bo.
Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson. Guess what's coming to Region Field? Not Legion Field. Regions.
What, the Bo Jackson?
Bo Burgers are coming.
Bo Burgers.
Bo Burgers are coming to this great state of Alabama. Bo knows burgers. Bo knows burgers.
Bo knows. Yeah.
Hey, I'm pretty excited about that. I'm sure they already got them at Auburn. If not, you know good and well they'll have them soon. He does have some kind of business in that. I don't know. I forgot. It's out of Chicago. It's some kind of thing we're doing. He became very wealthy doing it also.
He's 62 years old now.
Is he really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
The legendary Bo Jackson. All right, we'll be right back. Let's talk about some of our wonderful people right now. Beef O'Brady's Lynn Haven, love those people. Big Jim, get over to Lynn Haven. Go to Beef O'Brady's, have a great time. And Jim, if you get some damage to your roof of these bad storms we're going to have here Saturday night, maybe even to Sunday, the guy you want to call, all of you out there, if you got any kind of damage, not just to your roof, but anything to your house, they design, they build, commercial, residential. But if you want a roof, there's nobody else to go with except Kyle Vandegrift. TK Vandy Roofing and General Contracting, they're number one. Don't forget about Kyle Vandegrift, TK Vandy Roofing. That's who you need to go with. Look them up, give them a call. They'll come out. They'll do an incredible job. They are the best. There's no doubt about that. Speaking of the best, there's nothing like Max Fitz Morse Nutrition. Do you want to get bigger, stronger, faster, just be healthier? Do you want to get some sleep? Once you get older, once you get up to Wildcat and my age, it's hard to sleep. Tommy had a problem with it. Tommy got on it. I'm on it. Julie's on it. Frank from Cleveland, he's on it. His wife, and now they sleep great. And you get deep sleep. And I forgot the name of the product. But anyway, Jason Kovaleski can tell you, Max Fitz Morse Nutrition, 23rd Street, Pier Park. Jeremy, when you get older, you're going to need it, I'm telling you. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Be right back.
.3 ESPN Northwest Florida presents the madness of college basketball. 68 teams, 32 conference champions, but there can only be one. ESPN Northwest Florida is your exclusive radio home for the NCAA College Basketball Tournament.
Introducing Water Clear Pools, the home of the 10-week pool guarantee. We guarantee custom pool completion from permit to your first swim in 10 weeks or less. Water Clear Pools is the premier pool builder for the Margaritaville development on Highway 79. Free quotes and custom pools anywhere in Northwest Florida. Call now, 850-835-4177, or see our website, waterclearpool.com. Licensed and insured. License number CPC 1459723.
Panama City, your car is filthy. Your house is a disgrace. But do not fear. Martin Karab is here. At MK Evolution, we terminate dirt, obliterate grime, and crush filth with the force of 1,000 flexing biceps. Full car details so clean, your reflection will say, hasta la vista. Pressure washing so powerful, your neighbors will salute you. Call MK Evolution now at 850-319-2323.
Tired of flipping through channels and finding nothing good? Introducing Lucid Stream TV. Get over 2,000 live streaming channels. Catch every game of the season with over 100 sports networks, including ESPN, ESPN Plus, the NFL Network, and Red Zone. Even pay-per-view events. Watch local network channels from most major markets throughout the country. Fox, ABC, CBS, and NBC. Just $41.99 a month. Cut the cord, not the fun. To get Lucid Stream TV, go to ESPNPC.com and click the Lucid TV logo.
If you got more A's on your truck than you did in high school, you might be a Bama fan. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
I'm too sexy for my cat. Too sexy for my cat. Oh, pussy.
You woke me. Hey, finally, you got something exciting to play. That's good. That's good.
My love.
Isn't that song about you back in the day?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, that's me singing that song.
I wish you would bring in the picture, and I hope you still have it.
Yeah.
You and James Brown up in Cincinnati.
Yep.
You have it?
Nope.
Dang, man, I'd love to see that.
My house got broken into, and I lost a whole bunch of stuff with Naomi Judd and then all kinds of neat things I used to have.
Just think of all the people you've met.
Oh, yeah.
In this line of work. Some really famous people.
Been doing this since I was 22 years old.
Get on. I got to ask you, all three of you. Have you seen the movie Get On Up, the story of James Brown's life story? You never saw it? I'm telling you, if you get a chance, you can look it up on, you can pull up any movie now, just type it in. His life story is incredible. He was abused. His mother left him. They lived out in the woods in Georgia. His dad beat him all the time. It was terrible. I mean, he was on his own. He grew up the hard way. I mean, the hard way. Poor, just like Elvis, they had nothing. Poor people. The American dream, both of them, Elvis and James Brown, came back to be the biggest two names, not only in the country, but in the world. And they came from absolutely nothing. That's the reason I love them. Poor people, the American dream. Watch the movie Get On Up. Everybody's seen Elvis's movie. Everybody knows about Elvis. But you need to see about James Brown. Watch it. I guarantee you, you will love the movie. All right, spring football. Who's going to be the team? We always do the way too early, our picks for national championship team. Jeremy, I got it correct. I picked Ohio State way back in the day.
Yeah.
And they got it. My team this year, let's just talk about some. Let's focus in on the SEC a little bit.
Can we get a little more data first? How much has been spent in NIL thus far?
Quite a bit. Oregon's going to be up there. Ohio State's going to be up there, there's no doubt. They're not going away. And the biggest game of the year, man, week 1, Texas, Ohio State. It's going to be 1 versus 2, 1 versus 3, something like that. It's going to be incredible. But I'm going to start with Texas. They got to break in a brand new quarterback, and that's the key. How does Manning play? How good is he really? We've seen him run the ball. There's a reason he was second team, guys. There's a reason. At every coach across the country, there's a reason your first team, there's a reason your second team. Is he as good as everybody thinks? He's got the name, and that name carries a lot of weight, but I'm not sure he's as good as everybody thinks. I know he's good, but is he elite? I don't know yet. I still say we got to watch and see.
Hard to tell. I mean,
they got another kids on this roster as a quarterback can play if Manning can't.
It's definitely in the genes for him to be great.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just name that. But there is something about having to get out there and play your own game, and it's not an easy start. Buckeyes are
Texas.
So.
All right, let's look at this. And we already talked about the strength of schedule. That's going to play into who wins the national championship also. But these are some of the teams in the SEC are going to break in new quarterbacks. Texas is one of them, but they got a great defense. And I'll talk more about that later. Alabama, they got 3 talented quarterbacks. They're breaking in. Georgia's breaking a new quarterback. Auburn, new quarterback. That's just some of them. Ole Miss, a new quarterback. And we'll get into the rest of them later. Georgia, Texas, they made the playoffs last year. And Tennessee made the – now, Tennessee quarterback's back. Their schedule's not as hard. We got to keep an eye on Tennessee. Ole Miss, they didn't make the playoffs. Bama did not make the playoffs. South Carolina felt like they should have been there. They did not make the playoffs. All 3 – now, 2 of them for sure had the quarterback. Did South Carolina got their quarterback coming back? I can't remember. I think he's gone.
I think he's gone.
Yeah. So, all right, you got 5 SEC teams that won at least 10 games last year. Alabama didn't. 13 of 16 SEC teams made a bowl game. Okay, Florida quarterback is back. They got the second toughest schedule in college football. Florida. I think it's Florida's year. I think they're going to be good. I think LSU is another team. You better keep an eye on them. Their roster's outstanding. Their quarterback is back. Florida quarterback is back. Those 2 teams might surprise everybody and win the SEC. I'm not saying the national championship, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if either one of them did. Missouri, they got a brand new quarterback. Oklahoma, the biggest question about Oklahoma, they're on that coaches on the hot seat. Their offensive line. They gave up so many sacks last year. I think they led the nation in giving up sacks, at least in the SEC. Can they protect the quarterback? That's a huge question for there. And who's going to be the quarterback? South Carolina, I don't think it's going to be as good as they were last year. That's just me. They might be. I hope they are. I got a lot of friends are Gamecocks. Tennessee, the schedule's easier. Quarterback's back. But how good? Do they make it back to the playoffs?
I don't think so.
They make it back? We shall see. Texas A&M. They lost Evan Stewart is a stud. They lost him. He went to Oregon. You talking about money? You talking about rosters? A 5-star, you know he's making big money at A&M. This just shows you the kind of money Oregon's playing it. When they come in the state of Alabama and get the best high school football player over Auburn and Alabama, that's big money. And they go in and get money, have more money than Texas A&M. That's pretty incredible. This kid was a stud, 5-star. They also lost Thornton, wide receiver. Was that Thornton or Thomas? I think it was Thomas. He was now at Georgia. So Georgia obviously got the money. Vandy, I don't think would be as good as they were last year. I think they're going to be competitive, though. But right now, if I had to pick the way too early national championship team, especially out of the SEC, I'm going to go with Texas. And the reason I say that, their defense is supposed to be outstanding. Now, their schedule is not ranked as high as some of the other ones or hard as some of the other ones. The question, how good is the quarterback going to be? They go into Ohio State. I don't see them winning there. They did go into Michigan and win that ball game. But if I had to pick one team way too early, and I have a chance to change it later on, I'm going to go with Texas Longhorns. Jeremy, if you got to pick today, who would it be? Does the Buckeyes repeat? Is it another Big Ten team like maybe Penn State, Oregon? Who's going to get done this year?
I think your champion will come from the SEC this year. I think the last year was an aberration. Who it will be will just be a matter of SEC survivor. The dogs are right there knocking on the door. Texas knocking on the door. I'm not buying Alabama yet. We're a little gun shy.
I saw where somebody had Alabama win the SEC. I'm off the Bama wagon.
Yeah, I'm not.
They got to prove it to me.
Not there right now until the discipline returns.
I think
who you got?
The interesting part about all this is there's so many new quarterbacks, and that's the most valued position on the field, right? So you have all these teams who traditionally have their backup step in and produce or whatever. Well, now there's a lot of guys coming from other schools, right? So like the Oklahoma guy coming to Auburn, but then he's trying to win the job there. Like there's a lot of unknowns at the most important position on the field. So with a lot of teams who usually are, title contenders. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm comfortable enough to say who yet without knowing a lot.
Well, I will say this about Auburn. They're going to be good. The only way Auburn doesn't have a good year next year is Hugh Freeze. If they screwed up within, because I'm not being real critical of him because he's a really good coach, unbelievable recruiter. They've got the top 10 recruiting class in there back-to-back years. They've got the top 10 transfers coming in, and that's the most highly rated quarterback. But I'm going to tell you what, it won't shock me the little kid from Mississippi is the quarterback sometime that year. And he might not start week 1, but it won't shock me. But the word is it's going to be Arnold. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But they should have beaten Oklahoma. There were 2 other games. They kind of get here, y'all win. They gave them away. I think Auburn's going to have a really good year. I do. When I say really good year, I say 9+.
Well, they got Baylor to open, and it should be pretty good on the non-conference. They had the sort of inexplicable loss to Cal, finishing up that series last year, and it kind of set things in motion to sort of spiral out when you thought they would come through the non-conference okay. Yeah. But I think you're right.
I just remember last year, when they didn't run the running back, one of the best in the country, and kept throwing the ball, and they threw that pick 6 against Oklahoma. That's a game they should have never lost. Cal, there's a bunch of them. Auburn's strength of schedule in the country's 15th. It's real brutal. It's still brutal, but out of the SEC, there's only 1, 2, 3 schools lower than them for a strength of schedule. So that 15th, they're in pretty good shape. I think it'll be a really good football team, especially if they have the Bo Burgers in Jordan-Hare Stadium. Defensively, I think they're going to be outstanding, and I think they're going to be good. Auburn Tigers are going to be good in 2025. If not, Jeremy, I will say this too. All our Bama fans out there, if Auburn's ranked, the game's being played in Jordan-Hare. If the game's ranked, we've already lost.
Mm-hmm.
Go bet the house on Auburn because Auburn's going to win. We can't beat Auburn when Auburn's ranked. We never have in that stadium, and I don't see it happening next year.
Yep.
And I think they get Georgia at home. They got Alabama at home. They go to Oklahoma, and hopefully I think they'll get revenge for that, what they did. Oklahoma beat them at home. All right, let's talk about some of our great people. We got so many of them. Appreciate all of our wonderful sponsors. Where's my sheet? Turf Pro Pest Control. Do you want that yard to look beautiful? We can make it happen. Listen to Patrick every Monday, 8:30 on ESPN Northwest Florida. Call them. They'll come out. They'll come up with a game plan. Your yard will look absolutely gorgeous. Not good, gorgeous. Dr. Ward, 1 in 5 develop skin cancer. If it doesn't look right, feel right, go make an appointment. Don't put it off. He'll take care of it. That guy's operated on me twice. He does an incredible job. Also, I want some jewelry. Wildcat, let's go down together. Where are we going?
You're going to go to David Adamson Designer Jewelry, Highway 77 in Lynn Haven. They can design it, sit right there with a piece of paper and a pen, and you can design a special piece of jewelry, and they will make it come to its fruition. I think that's the right word. You design it, they create it, and they'll do it for less than anybody in the Panhandle right here in Florida. David Adamson Designer Jewelry, Highway 77.
Andy Burcham texted me 2 days ago. He's in Nashville. He is in a big-time meeting up there about the SEC tournament, so he couldn't be with us today. We'll get him back as soon as we can. All right, we're out. 104. Oh, we got one more segment. 104.3 ESPN. I saw Randy. I thought, man, it must be time to leave.
Wake up, man. Wake up.
We'll be right back.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
Up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Winter Storm Enzo.
And breaking weather as it happens.
Hurricane Helene.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
Rely on it.
Good morning. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For this afternoon and evening, a mixture of light sprinkles and some clouds and a high of 70 with wind 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the south. Slight fog and some clouds tonight and quite warm near 65. Slightly foggy in the morning followed by some clouds and 72 tomorrow. 74 and a variety of some clouds and sprinkles Saturday. This is your Thursday's weather brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
That boot store reminds you with the warmer weather usually means spring is just around the corner. That boot store will help you celebrate any time of the year with one of the widest selections of Western wear in the area. They can fit the smallest to the largest, so bring the family and dress up Western style at an affordable price. Carhartt work clothes are available too. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 9 till 5, Friday and Saturday, 9 till 5:30. Next to Bill Burke at 15th Street, that boot store where God is good all the time.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michaels studio.
They got something that money couldn't buy.
I was noticing when you come down the stairs that you've got pretty legs.
All right, I'll tell you a story without a happy ending. Y'all following this?
ESPN Northwest Florida.
IMG Academy tonight at home, I think.
Who does?
South
Florida. All right, we're back live, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Wildcat behind the glass doing an incredible job like always. Jeremy Pridgeon, Josh, our wonderful county AD. It's just, you remind me so much of I tell you who you look like and remind me of a lot of, and this guy, aced the ACT, perfect score, went on to the University of Alabama. And he was going to school there. I told Coach Saban, said, you got a kid up there that graduated here from Arnold, wants to work for you. And Coach, he had perfect score, full ride academic. And that got his attention. He told Jeremy Pruitt to write his name down, and he did. And they got back up there, and they hired him. And he just free, didn't pay him anything. He worked and helped out at Alabama. That led to him getting a job at Arkansas with Bielema. When they got fired, he went with Bobo to Colorado State, and then he gets a phone call from Coach Davis. I think it was Coach Davis that called him and said, Nick wants you to come back. He wants you to interview. And sure enough, they came in back to interview with Nick, and Nick hired him back at the University of Alabama. And for whatever reason, they didn't keep him, or a bunch of them they didn't keep. All those great recruiters they had, and that whole department over there, they didn't keep him. That shocked me. And a bunch of them they didn't keep it, which even shocked me more. But you remind me so much of the way you act, the way you talk. Y'all look alike. I don't think you ever met Daniel, but you look a lot like Daniel Bush. Yeah. Anybody else say that?
I worked with his dad at Arnold for a year and a half.
Well, thank God you don't look like him.
No, but he's a great coach and great person. So good family for sure.
Dennis Bush, I love Dennis. He's a wonderful man, great family. But you're doing a great job. And Tommy started out, and he was there for 23 years as our Bay County ADs in the State Hall of Fame. You are young, so I'm hoping that you and your family love it here and you're not going anywhere, because we'd love to have somebody stay here 20, 25 years.
That's the plan. My wife's born and raised here, and I love what I'm doing, love the community, love the job, it's a great job because I get a hand in all the sports, right? So I get every night there's an opportunity to go out and see these kids play, and the organization and administration side of it, and giving them the chances and doing all the front work for them to have the opportunity on the field it's rewarding. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but now on this side of it, it's every day I wake up excited to get to work.
And your personality is a good fit for it, I think. I think it's a perfect fit. So great job. Just continue to do so. I would give you some advice. Tommy and Jeremy, I think you know this. Tommy was very smart, did not get involved in politics. As you know, the superintendent position is elected. It's not picked by the school board members. In Alabama, where you came from, where your dad was a legend up there, do they vote the superintendent?
Depends on the county. Shelby County, Jefferson County, we're in Birmingham, surrounding counties, they are elected.
There's some appointed, some elected. So.
See, in Southwest Florida, there's more that are hired by the school board. The school board has all the power. And if you're not doing a good job, they can get rid of you. Here, you can come in and you make the right population happy. You can kind of overlook the other parts. I don't know. I don't know which way I like better.
Now, is that going to change when they pass the law that they're going to let the state take over?
No, I don't think. I think that's all. That's the state. Anything? Yeah. Well, the money. Yeah. The money can get to the state. The people in the state can spend it on teachers instead. You see how many administrators they got up there, the Department of Education. Anything the government does is corrupt. So hopefully it will get the money to the state, and our governor will make sure that we got a great governor. We'll make sure everything's the money will go where it needs to go. I'm all for getting rid of it and the money going to the state. Let the state handle the money. I think that'd be a great thing. But anyway, then I appreciate you coming in. I know you're busy. Absolutely. I appreciate you coming in every Thursday. Jeremy, from 2000 to 2009, they rated the top 10 teams of that era. And I was disappointed because the Alabama Crimson Tide national championship team, 14-0, beat Texas for the national championship in the Rose Bowl, beat a Florida football team that had just won a national championship, had everybody back.
Yep.
That was a great football team. Nick Saban's first team, Julio, all those NFL players. They only ranked 5th. Here's the number 1 team from 2000 to 2009. Miami Hurricanes 2001 team was number 1. Number 2 team, and I wish they'd have got to play Auburn and not Oklahoma, Southern Cal 2004. I don't agree with that one. Number 3 was Texas 2005. They beat USC for the national championship. Matt Brown, my coach, who was the head coach there. Number 4, I do agree with this one. I would maybe even put this one up a little higher. 2008 Florida Gators. the team Alabama beat in 2009 that had everybody back. I think Bama should have been higher. Number 6, 2000 Oklahoma. Number 7, 2003 Nick Saban's national championship team, the LSU Fighting Tigers. Number 8, the Ohio State Buckeyes. I think that was 2002. I think it was. Number 9, the Florida Gators 2006. And number 10, the only team that had 2 teams ranked in the top 10, the LSU Fighting Tigers 2007. They were really good. That was between 2000 and 2009. What do you I don't like this.
So, yeah, you kind of look at the 2001 Miami team. Were it not for a late, very controversial flag in that game against Ohio State.
Ohio State wins it.
Ohio State wins.
Yeah.
Now, not taking anything away. USC 2004, they were beast. I mean, they absolutely dominated that one.
I will say this though: Auburn was robbed. It should have been Auburn playing for, which would have gave them a game. And Oklahoma got killed.
Yeah, Oklahoma got killed, and you're exactly right. And then the quirk of scheduling that USC and Auburn played a rare home and home the previous 2 years.
That's what got them.
That's what got them.
Yeah.
I mean, those two schools haven't played since, but they had just played 2 games, one in LA, one at Auburn, and Auburn lost both, and there was just no appetite to see that game again, even though it's a different year. And so that's another one of those quirks. Texas 05.
That was a good team.
Very good team.
I don't think that.
Texas rolled everybody 70-0 and played one game against USC.
They had 2 tough games the entire year.
Right.
Strength of schedule.
Yeah. The Florida 08 team, I mean.
That should be in the top 3.
And look, they escaped Atlanta the first year against Alabama. Alabama had them on the ropes, and, that could have easily gone the other way.
That's what I'm saying. The 2009 team was a lot better than 5th, I think.
Yeah. The 9 team, they ran the table, only undefeated team other than the 20 team, which had the COVID schedule. But that 9 team was a lot better than.
Just look at all the people. Now this is what gave Miami so much. They had so many people drafted.
That team. That's what they go back and look at there.
But that 2009 team had a load of players drafted. I would have that team in the top 3. Florida and Alabama should have been in the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
To 2000, and really. The Florida 2009 team was unbelievable. They got embarrassed by Alabama in the SEC championship game.
Well, and, I've heard it said that Bob Stoops and Nick Saban spent the entire summer breaking down game film on Tim Tebow to determine he had that little quirk where he was, as long as the arm was up, they would pursue. As soon as he put his arm down, they'd break down. You can watch game film and see Alabama never pursued once Tebow dropped the ball and kept him boxed in the whole time and never let him scramble.
Smart.
But breaking down game film at that level just to see, okay, because Tebow would beat you with his feet when you would pursue and people would stay after him, he could get by you.
What team lost 2 games and won the national championship out of that group right there?
LSU.
Yeah, 2003.
And look, I saw that LSU 2003 team absolutely destroy Brody Kroll and Alabama there. I mean, that was men amongst boys.
That defense was incredible. End of the year, they were something special.
I mean, it was a massacre there at Bryant.
Who beat them? Do y'all remember who beat them? Was it Tennessee?
Let's pull up that schedule.
Yeah, I can't even remember who beat them. How much time we got?
I'll get it real quick.
Okay, yeah.
Schedule.
Josh, anything you want to say before we leave today? Anything going on? I know baseball's being played.
Baseball.
Go back about that volleyball, too.
Oh, yeah, soccer. We have middle school soccer championship today at University Academy versus Bayhaven Bobcats. So we'll live stream on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel, and I'll be out there trying to get a good angle early to try to see if we can't get that game live streamed. And then we have middle school track starting after spring break, but track meet, high school track meet at Tommy Oliver this afternoon, and then we have baseball everywhere. And we got South Walton and IMG over at South Walton today, and that's the game of the night in the state. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Jeremy, did you find it?
So the 2003 team's only showing 1 loss there, according to the LSU's official website, and that was Florida.
Maybe they got a forfeit win off it. I know they lost 2 games. Remember?
I know. I'm gonna pull up the 7, but I don't think that was the year. I think it was that very first year. Let's see, 2007 LSU 12-2. 2017.
Oh, okay.
So they lost that year to Kentucky.
That's right. The Miracle Pass. That's right.
And then dropped a second game to Arkansas.
All right. Everything, tell us what's going down in church.
Things going well. First Time Methodist Church, Panama City. Come join us 8:15, 9:30, 10:45 each Sunday.
Don't touch that dial. Leave it here all day long. The latest breaking news in sports. Ryan Mulvey's got a great show, and David, the Underdogs, this afternoon. We're out 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Magic plays here.
Tonight, the Orlando Magic travel to New Orleans to take on the Pelicans.
Free ball, that's catch.
Coverage coming up at 6:30. Tip-off at 7 tonight, right here.
Your new home for select Orlando Magic games. The NBA is on. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Every love story deserves a perfect beginning. At Tracy's Fine Jewelry, we believe